Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh, my God!
You know, Santa Claus and ho, 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 and mistletoe and presents to pretty girls. Ho, ho, ho! Vacation!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Craft Parenting Podcast, the podcast about two Cincinnati craft beer lovers with a parenting problem. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Joe Ludwig, and with me is my lovely wife and co-host, Caroline. How's it going, Caroline?
I'm pretty exhausted, but the kids had a fun weekend, and I had a fun weekend, so that's all that really matters.
It was a good weekend. I unplugged. I don't think I turned on my computer once.
You did not. I was very proud of you.
Whether that is work computer or personal computer. So I'm very proud of that. We had a good time. We hung out with our friends, did a little hike with the kids. Unfortunately, the dogs had to stay home.
Poor doggos. No one loves them.
Speaking of doggos, we have 3 dogs with us.
We do. So in addition to having a parenting problem, we have a dog problem right now.
Which some might say that's not really a problem. The 3rd dog that we have, she's not really a problem.
She's not. She's pretty adorable. She gets along with our dogs. That's the important thing.
Although she doesn't eat food. So there's that.
By some miracle, they all ate food before. I don't understand why today is different, but you do you, Vernie Lou Who.
Yes, her name is Vernie with a V. Well, they were going to call her something else, and she was adopted. And when they first adopted her, the agency claimed that she was only 2 or 1.
No, I think they claimed that she was 1.
And if you look at her, she is clearly not 1. Like she definitely had a litter of puppies or 2.
Well, I remember saying, like, to your parents, when we first saw her, I was like, she does not act like a 1-year-old dog. She is definitely at least like 3 or 4. And then they found other paperwork that said she was 5.
Yeah, so we think she's 5. That was a year ago, so now she's closer to 6.
Yep. She's like the same age as Clara.
Just the chillest dog ever.
Until someone knocks on the door, and then she's all hound.
Oh, yeah, she is a tree-walking coonhound, I believe is the breed.
I do think that's what they call it. And, like, we can see the hound in Clara and Vernie. Their mannerisms are similar. Their barks are similar. Their whines are similar. Their neediness is similar.
They both really like to snuggle. It's kind of creepy how similar they are.
A little bit. A little bit.
Because we've had Clara for quite a while. She's 6. My parents just got Vernie, like I said, a year ago.
Yeah.
But they act like they're the same dog.
They do.
It's crazy.
I mean, they're from the same part of town, we think. So
yeah.
Maybe.
So this is the Craft Pupper Dog podcast.
Yeah, the Craft Dog Parenting.
I don't know.
The Craft Dog Parents.
Yeah. No, so we are actually going to talk about something that was kind of thrown together at the last minute because it is the very last Thursday in July.
It is.
So better late than never. We are going to talk about Christmas in July.
Our episode about seasonal creep does not suffer from seasonal creep.
This is true. Yeah. Christmas in July, seasonal creep, and kind of our thoughts on it because it's been a topic of conversation.
I have thoughts.
So let's go ahead and get started. Before we talk about that, I noticed that you have an adult beverage in front of you, and it is the same as my adult beverage. So what are we drinking?
That is correct. We are drinking the Holiday Ale by Westside Brewing. It is 6.4% ABV and 17 IBUs. Their description: a deep amber ale thanks to the use of 3 crystal malts. This festive brew has layered malt sweetness, a touch of fruitiness from Galaxy hops, and cheery holiday aroma thanks to cinnamon, ginger, and sweet orange peel.
And our friends over at Shift Beers would have a coronary attack if they saw the date at the bottom of this can.
And what is it?
October 21st, 2021.
Well, it's been in our fridge. It's been temperature controlled.
Yeah, it's been in the back of the fridge. I think these were your beers.
Probably. I have a lot of beer, and I keep getting more beer.
Well, your beer has minus, with exception to the Listerman beer, your beer shelf has been taken over. Your beer is now the community beer.
Wow.
with the exception of your Listerman barrel aged.
That means that all of your chocolate is now community chocolate. And you're like, I don't have chocolate, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think of something that's yours that is now community. Panicking. I can't think of anything.
Well, I think it's good.
It's still holding up.
I got a lot of the spices. It is a little bit mild. I did let it warm up. I'm not sure if I should have let it do that.
It's too late now.
Well, we have another beer too. We'll crack that open later, but do you want to tell everyone what we're about to drink?
Sure. Our next beer is a Krampus Cole, also from Westside Brewing, which is 7.8% ABV and 39 IBUs. The description is, black with a tan head, this Baltic-style porter has rich aromas of chocolate and vanilla. The flavor is more of the same with a slight note of roast rounding it out. Thanks to the addition of whole vanilla beans, a strong vanilla flavor carries throughout the beer as it finishes on the sweeter side with just enough hop bitterness to keep it from being cloying. A portion of all proceeds will be donated to the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, we know Krampus, so...
We know a Krampus.
We know 3 Krampuses. Krampi? Krampuses?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but we know multiple Krampuses. Krampus? We know multiple people who are Krampus. Like 2 of them even offered to put our children in their baskets because their baskets can't hold small children.
2 of them did that? Or
At least one of them. I don't remember. Maybe it was the same guy, but different places.
Possibly. Well, Westside has its own Krampus Fest celebration.
That's so much fun.
It's been a yearly thing for at least 2 years, possibly more.
We attempt to get the photo. Like, it is more likely that we have a photo of our children with Krampus than with Santa, unless if that Santa is your dad.
Yeah.
Because we have not taken our children to see a Santa.
Well, I mean, we're not going to go to a mall.
No. Yeah.
I mean, do they even still do that?
Bass Pro Shop does, because that's where most of the people in my news feed went, was Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's, which is a hunting supply store.
Isn't it sad that Macy's is based in Cincinnati? Supposedly, I think they're moving, but they're like the big holiday, Christmas. They used to sponsor like the big parade.
Well, I think they used to sponsor the Santa, like the big Santa crawl. Like, because one year I swear we were downtown and Santa was rappelling.
It was for our engagement photos.
Yeah, for our engagement photos. It was like Santa, like it was the Santa Con.
The bar crawl, yeah.
The giant bar crawl. And Santa rappelled down the side of the Macy's building when it was still Macy's.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it's anything yet. I said it should turn into a brewery because it'd be a really cool brewery, but I don't think that will happen.
Not with the current state of things.
Nope.
It would be a good location if it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think businesses downtown are struggling.
A little bit.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so that is what we are drinking. All right, so now it is time for What's Bugging Caroline in Children's TV, where you, Caroline, tell us all about the lack of physics and logic and sense and all the craziness that is children's programming on the TV. So what is bugging you this week?
So today we're going to talk about Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which is a show about Mickey Mouse and his friends.
Whoa.
And we're back into season 5 again, folks. The hour-long specials.
Yeah, so how many times have we seen the entire series of Mickey Mouse? Because we just keep...
I have no idea, but it's been a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure I've done an episode, like I've done a segment on this episode before.
You have. It's on our YouTube channel.
But I don't think that I talk about these things.
No, last time we talked about...
Let me set the stage.
Sure.
So this was like Mickey's Spooktacular Special or something like that. Our Monster Party. It's basically Rocky Horror Picture Show light.
That's what she complained about.
Which is what I talked about last time. So this time, though...
It actually it's one of our biggest videos. As the keyword Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
It's in the title.
So... as part of the episode, they're trying to find a scary noise that's happening in the building. And Count Micula is afraid of the scary noise. And they keep going up and up and up the stair, like up and up and up the floors to try to find this noise that's coming from above them. And then all of a sudden the noise is coming from below them. So they end up down in the basement, which is Dr. Von Drakenstein's lair. And they're like, well, we have to look behind these doors to find out where the noise is coming from. And these doors are... well, these are all odd numbers because this is an odd place. 'Cause it's doors 1, 3, 5, and 7. But they never show door 7. They only show doors 1, 3, and 5. And door 1 has a giant toad behind it. But then door 3 has a cat behind it that is Figaro. Like, it is 1-for-1 the model that they use for Figaro, which is Minnie's pet. And Minnie's like, oh, it's a kitty. Let's look at the cute kitty. Bish, that is your cat. Like, at least make it Mr. Pettibone or one of the other cats that they show on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Don't make it freaking Figaro. But then we go through door number 5, which takes us down, down, and down even more stairs. So we end up in the boiler room where we find the mysterious noise. Well, it's Werewolf Pete banging on the pipes trying to fix them because they're leaky. Because Dr. Von Drakenstein asked Pete to come over to fix all of the leaky pipes in the castle. So he's been going all over the castle today to fix all of the leaks. And as soon as he says this, Dr. Von Drakenstein is like, oh yeah, that is the thing that I did. I did totally ask him to come here to fix all the pipes. And like, he was afraid of the noise too, but just completely forgot that he had asked someone to do a thing and they were in the middle of doing that job. Just very spacey. And whenever you have a contractor in your house or like your place of business, you kind of want to keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't get lost, do more damage, or if they need anything that you're able to help with. Like, you should keep an eye on your contractors. Pete could have cleaned them all out.
This sounds like anti-werewolf propaganda.
Sure. if that is what you think it is.
Lupin would not be happy with you right now, Professor Lupin.
I mean, I'm just more annoyed that Dr. Von Drakenstein forgot that he let someone into the house and then just let them wander free without telling anyone.
and then completely forgot about him.
Yeah, and then completely forgot about him.
Apparently.
Like, what was Pete going to do? I mean, Pete was probably just going to walk around banging on pipes, getting paid by the hour, until he wandered into Von Drakenstein and was like, oh, yeah, I've been here for like 10 hours. You should fix I did all the things. You should pay me all the money.
But how does banging on pipes fix them?
It doesn't. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. He is a very suspicious contractor. I'm kind of concerned of the quality of his work as well.
That's fair.
Because like the biggest leak of all, he couldn't even reach. And we had to help him with the mystery Boodles tool that I don't remember what it was because I stopped paying attention because I was like, oh my goodness, what is this?
Was it a baby elephant?
It was probably something stupid like a baby elephant.
All right. I am going to open up this Krampus Coal by Westside Brewing.
Westside.
There it is. And while I am doing that, Caroline, tell us what we are talking about today. Or remind our listeners what we are talking about.
We used mummy bandages to fix the pipe. Sorry, I got distracted trying to remember what the mystery mouse tool was because it was bothering me. So our topic today is Christmas in July or seasonal creep. So first off, I would like to say that really, if you're going halfway through the year, it's Christmas in June. July is 5 months before December or 7 months after December. It is not the midpoint to Christmas. The true midpoint to Christmas is June 25th. And y'all need to look at calendars and read them properly.
That's the correct midpoint?
Yes.
That's 365 divided by 2 or whatever.
No? Yes. So July, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Mm-hmm.
December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It's 6 months to June, but it's 7 months to July. So it is not the midpoint of the year unless if it's in June. So
there's so much stuff happening in June. And then you have 4th of July.
And
so where did it come from then? Christmas in July.
I don't know. I thought you had Googled it.
I did not Google that part.
3 days later.
So the history of Christmas in July from our favorite source on this show, Wikipedia.org. So it's the second Christmas celebration held around the summer season, mainly during July. It is centered around Christmas-themed activities and entertainment, including small gatherings, seasonal music, specials, and shopping, with the goal of getting the public in Christmas spirit during the summer season in the Northern Hemisphere. Because I guess in the Southern Hemisphere,
it's like winter. Yeah.
But do they ever claim that Christmas in July is supposed to be the halfway point?
Wikipedia does not.
But that was your main...
My main gripe is that it's not the midway to Christmas. Because some people say that because they're wrong and they don't know how to count. Apparently, it's been around since 1892.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you want to read that part?
Yeah, because it's from Werther, a French opera, where there's a group of children that are rehearsing a Christmas song in July, to which someone responds, quote, "When you sing Christmas in July, you rush the season," end quote. I will not butcher the French translation of what they actually say.
There is something to be said for that, and I think that's what we're kind of going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
The whole seasonal creep. Let seasons be seasons. Let Christmas be Christmas.
Yeah, like don't...
That's what some argue.
Don't just go straight from Halloween to Christmas and then 2 days of Thanksgiving and then right back to Christmas. Now, I'm all for what brings you joy.
Yeah, that's not what I'm arguing. That's what some people argue.
I'm more mad at retailers. And so, like, here's my example of seasonal creep that I experienced a month ago. I go into Target to buy some things. They are pulling down all of the summer stuff and starting to put up school supplies. School had, like, just let out, and they were starting to put up school supplies. And I'm like, kids just started summer. Give them like another 3 weeks before you start pulling out the school supplies. I haven't even gotten school supply lists yet. I just got a school supply list for Lily last week.
Yeah.
And I'm probably still not going to go shopping with her for another 2 weeks. Though maybe I need to go shopping with her in like 2 days so I can be like, look, here's all this awesome stuff that you get to use at preschool if you use the potty.
That's a whole different podcast episode.
Yeah. Potty training is a thing. Some days it goes, some days it does not. Lots of days mommy needs a drink.
She did very well yesterday.
She did very well on Saturday. Sunday was very much lots of out of sync. We would take her to the potty. She wouldn't go. 5 minutes later, she would pee in her underwear. We clean everything up, say, okay, let's give this a try again. And we'll put you on the potty in 15 minutes. And then 5 minutes before we were going to put her on the potty, she'd pee in her underwear. I need help. What do I do?
We did a whole episode about this. So you should just listen to that episode.
I will go listen to that episode again.
Yeah. So seasonal creep, what we defined it as how the seasons start to creep forward, or I guess backwards. So Christmas starts creeping into October, and then the retailers are especially at fault at this.
Yeah.
Or guilty of this.
Well, I mean, I get it. They want to move product off the shelves. And if you have Halloween decorations on the shelves November 1st, they're not going to sell.
Right.
But if you put them out August 1st, you probably won't have anything out there October 31st.
Right. So, and I have thoughts on that, but I will save those until the end. So let's get into it. The crafting world. You are an avid crafter.
I am.
The shopper of Hobby Lobbies and Targets and Michaels and what have you.
Mostly Michaels and local craft stores. My local yarn shop is amazing. It's been a hot second since I've been there, though.
You and Molly go to Hobby Lobby, though.
I haven't been to Hobby Lobby with Molly in a very, very long time. We should do that soon. Thanks, Joe. We should do that soon.
Oh, boy.
So, like, if you go to a craft store, it can be, like, May. And they're starting to pull out fall decorations. People are like, whoa, 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 what is this? It's May. But as a crafter, I'm like, yes. Now there's actually a chance that I will get this project done before it's supposed to be, like, complete. Because if I want to make Christmas presents for people, if I don't start in June, it's not going to be done by Christmas. Like, I have to start early just to give myself enough time to get everything done. Because crafting takes a lot of time, and time is money. So pay for the things that you buy that are custom.
Yeah, so that's a good point. You need time in order to make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the retailers, in order to make that demand, like you said.
Like, I would say Hobby Lobby is always at least one season ahead, like, completely, because that is the way that the people that go there have to think. Like, I need to get stuff in advance so I can make it by the time the season gets here. Versus Target, like when you're putting out your summer stuff, well, yeah, that's because I'm going to start opening my pool tomorrow. And I need to get stuff for my pool and my patio for tomorrow.
Right.
Not, oh, I'm going to buy this furniture for my patio in March when it's going to snow tomorrow. Does not make sense to me.
Did we talk about the beer, how it tastes? I know we talked about what it is. It is the
I'm still drinking the Holiday Ale. You're on the next beer.
Okay. I'm on the next beer. It is the Krampus Cole Baltic style porter with vanilla whole bean. I can definitely taste the vanilla. Vanilla is one of those flavors that potentially might phase out. Is that right?
Yeah, vanilla would be
But I can
mildly quick to fade.
But I can taste that fine. It doesn't have as much of that bitterness to it as I remember, like when it was fresh. What is the can date? I think it's also November 23rd, 2021.
That sounds about right. Because usually they have it, like the Holiday Ale comes out first. And Krampus Cole, they release that right before their Krampus weekend.
Right. So Krampus is the same day as St. Nick's Day. So that's like December 7th.
Krampus comes the night of December 5th. St. Nick comes the night of December 5th. So when you wake up December 6th, you have presents in your shoes.
I was almost there.
You were
Okay.
close.
So early December.
Yeah, but if you were bad, Krampus takes you, throws you in his sack, and beats you with reeds. Unless if you're little Susie, in which case you become BFFs.
Yeah. So let's talk about the food and beverage world, which is partially where this podcast comes in.
Mm-hmm.
We are at least a third of the time, we are a craft beer podcast.
I mean, a third of the time we're drinking beer, so it tracks.
Well, all the time we're drinking beer, but a third of the time we are.
No, I was just talking about like in life in general.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So the first example is Oktoberfest beer. Now, Oktoberfest isn't a day, and in Germany, it spans over 2 weeks.
Yes.
So
We have an episode on it that you can link to in the show notes, if we so choose to do that.
Yes. Yeah, we do talk about Oktoberfest, and we get into a little bit of the history, and then we talk about Cincinnati Oktoberfest, which is like every weekend from late August through October.
Yeah, like mid-October, because ours isn't the last one. There's one that's after ours, but I want to say it's up north.
Yeah. Well, these days it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Oktoberfest beers is starting to appear in packaging.
Yeah, like Westside just released theirs. I want to say like Fretboard might have as well.
Sonder, I think Madtree announced today. And today is, we're recording this on the 25th, but
Oh, snap, we are.
the Oktoberfest were announced last week. So that was like, the 20th, the 21st-ish of July. And some people in line were like, hey, this is a little bit early.
But I mean, lagers take up a lot of tank space for a long time. So I can understand some of it is like where you can fit it in your schedule. But it also is...
Yeah, definitely.
We're still like a month and a half away from any local fest.
Right. But I don't think their goal is to sell at a local fest. I mean, Sonder has their Oktoberfest in September.
Mm-hmm.
One of the weekends. I don't have it pulled up. Sorry. But I'm sure they have a ton of local beer. So maybe they do save a keg or 2 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as packaging goes, it is out there. It's starting to get out there at least. They are starting to advertise it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be on the shelves in July, which July isn't... I'm not saying I wouldn't drink an Oktoberfest in July, but I don't know that it would taste as good,
Yeah, it's definitely not something that I'm hankering for in July. Like, I drink it because I like it, but...
It's a little heavy. I think July is still, Pilsner, Hefeweizen season.
It's a little too sticky outside. It needs to cool off. It needs to get cooler at night.
And the argument is you could always, tuck it away in the back of your refrigerator.
But then we tuck beers away in the back of our fridge and we're drinking Christmas beers in July so we can help make space for fresher beers.
Right, yeah. And I do have thoughts on this later.
Mm-hmm.
So we already talked about back to school. That's just crazy. Like as soon as school is out, like you were saying, it's so back to school. But also a lot of the schools these days in Ohio, at least, they go back like August 2nd or something.
So
Like summer is getting shorter, or I guess they're getting out earlier. Like I don't know.
So I think part of that is probably true. What research has shown in the past is that the longer your summer break is, the more things that you have to review when kids go back to school. Because that's a lot of time where they're losing knowledge. I would argue experiences and stuff are different types of knowledge. But what they've done too is, like, we never got a fall break when I was at school. It was like you got Labor Day off, you got Veterans Day off, and then you got like 3 days off for Thanksgiving. And then you got a week and a half or 2 weeks off for Christmas, depending upon when all the holidays fell. Now they'll do like a week-long break in the fall somewhere, because you'll get like a fall break.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
In addition to like your spring break that you get like around Easterish time. So they're giving you more time off during the school year, but you have less time in the summer. So it's still the same number of days.
Yeah, I guess they could argue that if you wanted to, divvy it out and put it on paper and dot the I's, cross the T's.
Yeah. I mean, Lily's school doesn't start until the end of August, which is about when I'd be going back to school. The school you went to was weird because it always started after Labor Day. All my schools started before Labor Day.
Yeah, we started at 9 a.m. too in grade school.
Yeah, that's what time the elementary school started. The middle school and the high school started at like 7:30.
LaSalle started at 7:50. Weird time. But whatever.
Yeah.
Very late. But I think the research you could pull up says that, kids starting early, it's not good for them. They need sleep.
No, the research says that elementary school kids need to start at 7:30. Middle school and high school kids need to start at 9 or 9:30.
Just like all kids need to start later, I think.
It's more the older kids that need to start later, because that's when your circadian rhythms start changing. And teens are kind of wired to wake up late and go to bed early, or go to bed late and wake up late. I did a paper on it in high school about why this school should start later, and I should stay up later.
I think Mumford Heights starts earlier than St. Ives.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's all the same buses. So I got to find a way to get all the kids there.
I mean, I feel like St. Ives was the latest start date in that strip. Yes. It is a lot of schools in a very small, relatively small area.
Yes, it is.
So I guess traffic patterns do play a role in when schools start and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get basic a little bit.
Girl.
Gonna get the boots with the fur, the apple bottom jeans or the bell bottoms, or what do the kids wear?
What was that?
Apple bottom jeans.
That. Okay, hon.
Not bell bottom. High, the jeans. With the fur.
No, it's Han Solo season. It's vests and straight leg pants or skinny jeans and high boots. The girls look like Han Solo. It's Han Solo season.
Okay.
That's what you need to picture. What you're talking about is like 15 years ago. So pumpkin spice everything. Mostly coffee. It just seems like it's coming a little bit earlier every year. Now, it is possible that you can get a pumpkin spice latte every year. All year. I don't know whether or not that's the case. I know I was a huge fan of peppermint mochas for a very long time. And I was like, oh, I'm really bummed because Christmas is over, so peppermint mocha is going to go away. And they're like, oh, no, we always have that. It's just not like highlighted on our menu. Now, whether or not that's the case for pumpkin spice, I'm not sure. And then you have to realize that there's a difference between pumpkin spice and pumpkin. Because pumpkin spice is just the spices that you are putting into your pumpkin pie. Versus pumpkin is just the squash, vegetable. What technically is a pumpkin? I don't know. A melon.
think a squash is a vegetable, so I
We're
don't.
going to go with this vegetable. So pumpkin and pumpkin spice are not the same, but they're creeping up earlier and earlier every year. And now part of that also includes pumpkin beers and how they're we'll probably start seeing pumpkin beers pop up here soon too, even though pumpkins aren't in season yet. But the most recent episode of Cincy Brewcast, as of this recording, which I think you said this is going to come out like in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So still the most recent episode of Cincy Brewcast, as of this recording, is him talking to BC Bottle Lodge and all the stuff that they do.
Him being the gnome.
Him being the gnarly gnome. And
Synonymous with anonymous.
yep. And they're talking about how they try to hold back some pumpkin beer till closer to Halloween because they have to order it quick. Otherwise, they get left. If they order it when they want to drink it, they end up with a ton of pumpkin beer that nobody wants to buy. Because if they have pumpkin beer left November 1st, it's very slow to sell. But like every Thanksgiving, I want a pumpkin beer to drink while I'm eating my pumpkin pie. And I can never find a pumpkin beer.
Is that too much pumpkin, though?
I don't care. I would like to be basic and have pumpkin everything.
Yeah.
But I guess I have to buy a pumpkin beer in like 2 weeks.
I have thoughts.
Go.
I will save it till the end, though, because we have to talk about Christmas ales. And I don't. And there's one thing I want to do. I do want to say about pumpkin beer because I don't understand why they keep creeping it. It seems at least like they're creeping it.
But the season
back.
for when pumpkins are ripe stays the same.
Well, pumpkins, like the flavor of pumpkin. I'm not talking about the coffee because the coffee is just high fructose corn syrup added flavor.
Yeah.
It's not real pumpkin. I am talking about the pumpkin beer because I just don't understand why people want it in August where it's sticky and gross and humid as humid can be.
I want it in November, but I can never find it in November.
Yeah, to me that would be peak pumpkin season. Would be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or just before Thanksgiving.
I would say
like it should creep into September, you would think, but in the past at least it has kind of creeped into mid-August. And there's a lot of pumpkin beer. It seems that everyone is making the pumpkin beer, just like pretty much, at least in Cincinnati, just like everyone pretty much makes an Oktoberfest of some type. There are basically two types of Oktoberfest. There's the Marzen, there's the Fest beer, and then a lot of places, kind of combine the two into like a hybrid Marzen Fest beer thing. So it's kind of interesting just trying all the Oktoberfests. Which, again, I will plug the Oktoberfest episode that we recorded last year because we tried quite a few Oktoberfests.
We did. That was lots of fun. We also did an episode where we tried lots of Christmas beers.
Yes.
That was crazy. So, an article from 2020 says that Taft's pumpkin beer came out August 11th, which to me is like really early.
And that's their freshest.
Yeah, that's their freshest one.
Was
but Rheingeist Squirrel, it's a nut brown ale. So that makes more sense. They say October and November.
Nut brown ales would be good with Thanksgiving.
Oh, for sure. And I think that would go over a little bit better. It's like, what were they saying too? It's like you have to think of how you're going to rebrand your beers. So like, it's not an Oktoberfest. It's just a nice full-bodied lager after Oktoberfest season is done, so I can try to get you to drink whatever's left of my Oktoberfest.
Yeah, someone did that for their Christmas ale. They took out the Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they just call it like a winter ale or something like that.
Or a hoppy ale, yeah.
Yeah.
So marketing does come into play. I forget who talked about that, whether it was Shift Beers or Gnarly Gnome.
I don't remember.
It was one of the beer podcasts that I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing that we wanted to talk about before I tell my thoughts about seasonal creep is, of course, the Christmas ale, which they do come out before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they do. And sometimes. And you could also call it like a winter warmer. So you can get extra mileage out of it by rebranding it as a winter warmer.
Yeah.
Instead of just a holiday ale.
Winter warmers are good in January, February, you know. Winter doesn't technically start until December, but 21st.
Thereabouts, yes.
With the winter solstice. So there's definitely no rush for it. But a lot of people, a lot of breweries do launch, November 1st. I think Great Lakes is one of those. They have a big Great Lakes Brewing that is in Cleveland, Ohio. They have a big to-do in early November, usually, pretty sure, where they launch their Christmas ale. And I don't have this might be surprising. I wrote a blog post last year in November-ish.
That sounds right.
I don't have a problem with seasonal creep, in beer at least. I don't know anything about the Starbucks drinks or the crafting world. But in beer, I don't have a problem with seasonal creep unless it is, I'm searching for a Christmas ale on December 23rd or even December 24th when I'm trying to go to the family Christmas party. And I'm frantically searching Kroger for that, Great Lakes Christmas ale or marathon or what have you, because I know, I got distracted or something and I just forgot to buy it. If you are a brewery and you choose to release your stock of a particular, Oktoberfest, Christmas ale, pumpkin ale, what have you, if you choose to release it super early, as a consumer, I still expect it to be available, in season. So if you are releasing your Christmas ale October 1st for whatever crazy reason, I want to be able to buy it this is my opinion. I want to have the option to buy it, late December, around Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it is a Christmas ale, right? Same thing with Oktoberfest. If you're releasing Oktoberfests in July, I want that product to be available in season. So as long as you're making enough of the product and I'm able to buy it in season, I'm okay with it. Now, and for the most part, in my experience, that's been the case. Like I can pick up a Great Lakes, 6-pack. I don't know how fresh it is. I'm not as picky as some podcasts out there. I don't check the dates and stuff. But as long as it's available, I'm good. I'm okay with it. But for some reason, if, like in my crazy example, if Great Lakes Brewing released their Christmas ale in October 1st, and it's gone by Thanksgiving, and Christmas comes around and I can't buy it, to me, that's a problem.
You're not a satisfied customer.
Yes.
You might not even be a customer because instead of getting a Great Lake something, now you have got maybe like a Taft's or a Rheingeist or something that was on the shelf that still might not have been exactly what you wanted, but was close enough. They're like, well, I guess this will have to do.
Right. But Great Lakes on Christmas, that is the beer. Like I said, I can't think of a time where before Christmas at least, that I didn't see Great Lakes on a shelf somewhere. It may not be at Kroger. I may have to go to a bottle shop or, the Marathon or what have you. But at least it's available, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing about seasonal creep in beer. And that's what I wrote about last year in that blog post, which I will put in the show notes. And also in the show notes, the Gnarly Gnome has a take on seasonal creep. I'm not going to read his article, but if you want to, he says that seasonal creep, this is for beer at least,
Mm-hmm.
This is because his specialty is craft beer in Cincinnati
Yes.
in particular. He says that seasonal creep isn't real, really. ... Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that article is in the show notes, so you can read his take on the subject matter. And he didn't tell me to post this or anything. He doesn't even know that, we're talking about seasonal creep. But it's just, he is one of the local experts, so I figured we would link to his article. But another thing that we wanted to talk about, which I don't think it's too late, but if you're interested in this particular thing, you better get on it very quickly. We are going to talk about Beevent and the Beevent calendars in particular.
Yes, because now my newsfeed is being flooded with buy your Beevent calendar. It's July.
So Beevent is so you have advent calendars if you celebrate Christmas. An advent calendar traditionally counts down, each day until Christmas, the 25 days of Christmas, just like the song, except the song is the 12 days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And each day you open up the door and you get a little piece of chocolate or a toy, or in the case of Beevent, you get a beer.
A beer, or if you're unlucky, a Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, yeah. So Higher Gravity, if you don't know, is a bottle shop here in Cincinnati. And they have two locations. One, their original location in Northside, which we have not been to.
We have not. We've been near it. We've probably looked at it and waved to it, but we have not been to it.
I know. And then there's, of course, the one in Summit Park, which opened this year. And that is in Blue Ash, a new development. There's apartments. There's a Dora, except in the tower. You're not allowed to bring your alcohol in the tower. And there's a playground. Very nice place. I went there once with a bunch of dads.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice place. Plenty of parking. But they every year, and by the way, they're celebrating their 5th anniversary this year. Higher Gravity is.
Yes, and I think it's their 4th year of doing the Advent boxes.
Right. They are a bottle shop, so they don't brew their own stuff. They just bring in a bunch of different beers, specialized beers. So stuff from in the city, out of state. This is the place to go. One of the places to go for, craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
There are other bottle shops around the city too. But they do a Beevent calendar. We have not done this before, but we've heard a lot about it. And very similar to the concept of the Advent calendar, they have a specialty beer for each day leading up to Christmas.
Yep.
So 25 days of Christmas. Each day you open the beer, you open the box.
And they're not all Christmas beers. Maybe a few of them are Christmas beers. They do a good mix of lagers and IPAs and all sorts of different flavors.
Right. So it's an interesting concept. I've heard a lot about it. And of course, Julia from Truth Beer Consequences, who is a fellow West Sider.
West Side, West Side.
Thank you, Caroline. Fellow West Sider, and she has her own podcast, Truth, Beer, and Consequences, with Marco.
Yep.
And together they recap other craft beer podcasts. And they put their own spin on the truth. But her thing is she writes jingles each day about the beer.
Yeah, she does parody songs.
Parody songs, jingles. She doesn't sing them.
No, she doesn't sing them, but she'll say, like, this is inspired by this song. And, like, if you can read it in the way that song goes.
And she'll post her lyrics.
Yes.
Her parodied lyrics to the different beer groups. And she's been doing this for at least a couple years.
Yeah. She's been known as the person who writes quirky things during Beevent season. So
that and I think we're going to do it this year.
We are.
I think so.
We should.
And there's this whole thing. Pre-orders are now.
Yep.
And you might be thinking, July? why are you asking for me to buy this in July? Well, because Higher Gravity, they feature 25 different beers, one craft beer starting each day starting December. The beers are all different styles. Last year, the beer featured 19 different styles of beer. 19! I didn't even know there were 19 styles of beer.
That's a lot. I mean, it makes sense.
And they are from breweries all around the world. In addition, the calendar generally features at least 10 completely unique beers that you won't find anywhere else in the Cincinnati market. And those beers are either, one, in collaboration with local breweries that we brew specifically for the Beevent calendar, or special orders from out-of-state/city breweries that won't hit the shelves anywhere else in the city. So if you want a unique experience and you want to be able to post them on Instagram or social media and see other people react to it, and
it's, I know that I will be drinking this beer with like 60 other people tonight.
Yeah, so you get to share in that experience with a bunch of other people. And this is a very limited thing. I don't know how many they sell, but if they're taking orders in July, they are going to sell out. So stop what you are doing and go to highergravitycrafthouse.com and just go to their Beevent calendar section and order it. Now you order the Beevent calendar now, but you pick it up the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's and they have 2 locations that you can pick it up at.
And there's enough disassociation between when you pay and when you pick it up that it's just a Christmas present for yourself that you completely forgot about. But the other benefit of ordering early is if enough people order early, they can open up more spots because they'll know that they have the demand to get more beer. But if everybody waits until like August or September to order a Beevent box, they can't necessarily get the space that they need from, or like the quantities that they need from their distributors or from their breweries to fill all of the boxes. So they need time to get on people's calendars, which is why they're doing this so early.
Right, yeah. I think last year Westside did a malt liquor. So
they did. And people thought that was a joke beer, but it was actually a serious beer.
Yeah, they did a malt liquor. And everyone just laughed.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. Like malt liquor, I guess is the...
But it was like a good craft. It was like a good malt liquor.
I didn't have it, so I don't know.
Colt 45, but not Colt 45.
Like Edward Scissorhands.
Edward 40 Hands.
Edward 40 Hands. Sorry.
Everybody got iced one year. So actually, I think I might have gotten iced 2 years in a row. Because last year, Julia was like, I don't know, like this is when we got iced last year. Are we going to get iced again? And no, we didn't. Okay, sweet. And then all that malt liquor popped up. Was that the joke beer? But it's not really a joke beer because it's actually really good. And then there's like 3 days left and she's like, we have not gotten iced yet. Do I need to be terrified of this? So it's a mystery.
Yeah. So go to Higher Gravity, like I said, highergravitycrafthouse.com. And they have an entire FAQ section about pickup, about the cost, about do I need to store this in my refrigerator? How do I store this sort of thing?
Yeah.
Because it is a box and you want it to be a surprise.
Yeah. So some people find a way to fit the whole box in their fridge. Other people have their significant other, someone who is not as invested in the Beevent box, open that day and put it in the fridge so it'll be cool when they get home from work, but they still don't know what it is. It just kind of depends on what you have the space for.
Yeah, they suggest storing it under the tree.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a tree. Just at room temperature, and then you open it in the morning and then put that beer in the fridge and then open it when you get home or at 10 a.m. or whatever. They don't judge. So that is our plug for Higher Gravity's Beevent calendar. I'm going to do it right now.
They are not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. They should sponsor. Marco, can you put in a word for us?
Yeah, Marco, please.
But we're going to do it. I think we're going to flip a coin. You get even days. I get odd days, or I get odd days. You get even days. We'll flip a coin. and then Christmas we'll share.
Maybe we can just share every beer?
Or that.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for sure.
Maybe we only have to share the good beers? But then they're all going to be good beers.
I have heard great things about this, though. So if you are interested in craft beer, definitely go check it out. All right, so now it is time for Joe's dad joke of the week. And Caroline, I have 2 jokes this week. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
So what kind of linens do gingerbread men put in their beds?
I don't know.
Cookie sheets. I have one more joke before we wrap up.
Oh, no.
Caroline, did you know that Father Christmas has a daughter?
I did not.
Her name is Merry Christmas.
Goodness.
That does it for this week's show. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we are at Craft Parenting Podcast on all of those platforms. You can get a hold of us via email, which is craftparentingpodcast@gmail.com.
If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Make sure to share the show. It's what helps our show grow. If you'd like to send us stuff such as fan mail, craft supplies, or sanity and sleep are much needed right now. We have a P.O. box.
And all this information is available on our website, which is www.craftparentingpodcast.com.
That's where we post the show notes, plus blog posts about some of the stuff that doesn't make it into the podcast.
And if you want to follow me personally on Instagram, my handle is @CraftParentingJoe.
And I am at Caroline Creates Crafts on Instagram and Caroline's Creative Crafts on Facebook.
And with that, I'm Joe.
And I'm Caroline.
See you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Moist. 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 How you doing?
I'm going to mute you if you're not careful.
Okay, hon.
You are muted. Till further notice.
You started it.
How did I start it? Are you ready?
Yes. I didn't mean to. It just happens. You can get that duality. You can get extra mileage out of it by rebranding it.